Welcome back, respected ones. In a previous video, I just talked about various dimensions of curriculum. Something related to that topic is going to be dealt here. Various dimensions of curriculum and their relationship with aims of education. I told in that video that when we prepare curriculum, we should look at different dimensions of educational system. We should think about the social atmosphere, we should think about the capacity of the teachers, we should think about the capacity of students, the interest of the students, the attitude of the students, the lifestyle of the students, so and so. So various dimensions of curriculum are there. And see, on the basis of these various dimensions of curriculum, we have to prepare aims of education, or on the basis of aims of education we have to prepare a curriculum. These aims of education are decided on the basis of these various dimensions. Because we have to select some aims of education on the basis of the social dimension. When you think about aims of education, you should look at the culture of the society, you should look at the economic resource of the society, you should look at the philosophy of the society. So socio-cultural and philosophical dimension of curriculum is important. For example, if you are living in a society where traditional aspects are given more importance, then one of the aims of education will be preservation or conservation of culture through transmission of culture from older generation to new generation. Then you may have to include some activities and topics related to the history of that particular society or country. You may have to include the traditional values of that particular society in the curriculum. And similarly, you have to look at the economic resource or economic dimension of the curriculum also. On the basis of the economic resource, you have to select the aims of education. In Gulf countries, you know that oil is the most important source of economy. Then when they accept aims of education, their aims of education will be concentrating on this economic resource. And when they prepare curriculum for professional education in their country, they will be giving importance to these aims of education, and on the basis of these aims of education they will be preparing curriculum. So this socio-cultural dimension is important. Socio-cultural, economic and philosophical dimension. As in communist countries, you know, communism is there. And when they select aims of education, they would give importance to other functions such as socialism and so on and so. Then their curriculum will be concentrating on some activities which can promote socialism in their country. Now we can come back to parents, family. See, in past, children were living in joint families. So during those days, there was no need for some aims of education related to the mental disturbance and the psychotic problems of the youngsters. But nowadays, students are from nuclear families, and most of the parents are working parents. Mothers and fathers are working, and there is no grandfather or grandmother because of the emergence of old age homes. So nowadays, students have or youngsters have got lots of psychological problems, psychotic problems. And on the basis of such a situation in family relationships, in the case of parents, some aims of education related to the psychotic problems, mental problems, the mental distress, the abnormal tendencies of the students are there. And on the basis of these aims of education, when we prepare curriculum, we may have to include some activities such as counseling, psychotherapy, and some other psychological activities. So this is a dimension of the family and backgrounds. Now we have to think about the interest of the students. Nowadays, youngsters are interested in sports and games. Then when we are selecting some activities for improving the communication skill of students, then we may have to make use of the activities such as sports commentary, just for creating interest in the students, because interest is the gateway of learning. So we may have to think about the interest of the students. We should look at this dimension when we are preparing some activities. So all different dimensions we have to keep in our mind. We may have to look at different angles by using different angles before preparing a curriculum. And only when all these dimensions of curriculum are ensured, we can implement an effective educational system, because curriculum is the crux of any educational system. Thank you.